it, you know, hit about it. Good evening, one and all, to the June meeting for the San Bruno Amateur Radio Club tonight. We're got a few things on tap, including we're gonna have, I've asked Tony particularly to show up tonight and to maybe give us some hints on field day, which is coming up at the end of the month. You know, tap his wisdom for what to do. And before I asked him, he had a lot of hair on his head. Now there's not so much. So I think he's been pulling it out, trying to know. That's what you know, that's my reason for
we've gone to handfuls.
Yeah, by handfuls, it's gone. So anyway, I've got a little PowerPoint presentation, which I'll do after we talk to Tony, and then we can come back to both of those. But I want to thank everyone for showing up tonight. I know that there are a lot of distractions going on, but I'm happy to have you all here tonight. So, so anyway, let's take advantage of Tony. Let's jump the agenda just a little bit and say that so we're coming up on the 25th of June will be a field day. It's going to be held by San Bruno. It's going to be in the what we call Narita Plaza, which is the area between the library and City Hall. We're going to be joined by our good friends, hopefully, from the Emergency Preparedness Committee, which includes our friends Malcolm and Janet. Hopefully they'll be there. If not, we'll put a vacant sign in front of their table. You know, and I think we'll get somebody from. Well, if Malcolm's there, then they're representative. So we're gonna do that. We had a lot. I'll go back to the list eventually tonight. But a couple things is one of the things we needed were canopies and tables. Certainly Janet wanted the canopies, so if she gets there, she won't roast. You're not going to be there. Janet will not be there, but she will hope that if we're there, anybody who's there will not roast underneath the canopies. Okay, is that all right, Janet? Okay, you wish people not to roast. Okay, so the fire department's going to get the canopies from the rec department, and we'll eventually need somebody to go over to the fire department during the week to pick the canopies up, because if we wait until Saturday morning and Station 51 is off on a run, we won't be able to get anybody to let us in. So we're going to do that a couple days ahead of time. We'll get the chairs and the tables from the library. I've already talked to Tim, the library director, about that. That's a good thing. And we'll get electricity as we need this. So those are kind of a couple of major things. We're working on some publicity. We'll come back to all that. But with that said, it's what we're going to do and how it's going to go. And for that, I'm going to ask Tony to kind of give me his impressions, and Walt can too. I mean, who has participated heavily or within on a field day at some point in the last 20 years? I have not. So we have Janet, we have Ollie, we've got Walt, and Tony's got a toothpick, which I think is which is affirmative. So anyway, so with that said, words of wisdom from Tony.
Well, hardly words of wisdom. I have been to a few field days. I have some observations on successful field days and unsuccessful field days. The one thing that I've learned from each field day is to obey the first rule, and that is to just have fun. It's you know, some people get into field day. It morphed from 1934 when it was first created by the ARRL, from a field day for people to go out remotely and be prepared for emergencies. They figured out they had to have a reason to be out there other than that, or to keep them occupied, so they made it a contest. And there are a lot of people who take it about as seriously as you can imagine. If you're just starting out or you're in a situation where you have a small group and you don't really plan on submitting your logs for approval, you just run with it and do what you can when you can. Have a good time, promote with the public if you can, to let them know. It gets a good example. It's a good opportunity for you to promote amateur radio in your community live and in person. Certainly, one of the first things you want to do, it sounds like you're already on the road, is preparation. That's one of the most important things that you need to do. Find out what you need, why you need it, and go get it. Who's going to bring it to the site? Who's going to put it up? You've got your location, so you want to find out your work parties, who's going to put your antennas together, who's going to put your rigs together, who's going to do food, if you're going to be there for any length of time. Can I ask how long you intend to operate?
Yeah, we're going to basically do it the library hours, which is this is going to be a banker's hours field day.
Okay.
So it's going to be 10 to 4:30. The library goes to 10 to 5, and we're going to basically give ourselves a half an hour to put the stuff back for the library, like the tables and chairs. And then we take everything home and we say, hey, it was hopefully fun.
So bare minimum, coffee and donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Identify who your operators are, what band you're going to run. And for those of you who are doing it for the first time, maybe have a small script on what to do to guide them along, and also maybe an Elmer if you have one, or two, or whatever. How many bands did you plan on running, by the way?
3.
3 bands, okay.
Three. Basically, VHF, UHF, okay, and probably 20 and 40.
During the day, 40 is going to be daunting.
Which one's going to? Both?
40.
40?
Yeah. I would go with 15 myself.
15? Okay. For my understanding, I guess I said 40 because it seems like during the day 40 seems to be to work.
Really? We have different experience. If it's working for you, run it.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Why 15?
15 seems to be more palatable during the day for me.
Okay.
To me.
Okay.
But again, once you get there, it depends on propagation for the day.
Honestly. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me ask the specific question. I'm planning to take a 40-meter dipole and set it up. Now, I think I can hit 15 off that, right?
I think you can tune that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is that effective?
Depends.
Because
If it works, it works.
I think that Steve is going to bring the 20 part of it.
Yes, 40-meter dipole will work on 15 meters. It's a wave and a half.
Great. I don't have a lot of.
I know 20 will, but I don't know about 50. I don't know on a 40 if a 15. What, James?
15 meters is workable on a 40-meter dipole. It's a wave and a half dipole. Works great. I've done it many times.
Perfect.
Okay.
So you can switch back and forth if you need to.
Right. So I figured that off of 40 we could do other things off of a 40, and then off the 20 we can probably do a 20. Obviously do 20. So that's basically what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're going to try 40, something off of 40, and 20, and which could be something off of 22, and then the little guys. And the little guys, if it's no more than taking my FT70 and put it on there and put scan through simplex frequencies, and we let kids hit it.
There you go.
So that's the kind of the rationale for the moment. So continuing with that, I think we've got that. Go ahead.
All right.
Because so far you've been helpful.
I don't have a lot more, to go
Okay.
here. It sounds like you already have a good grasp of what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's some specific questions that you wanted to address, I can try to answer those.
Okay.
Bearing in mind that if you follow some of the basics, aside from actual operating, which I usually recommend when you're operating to keep your QSOs very short. Give a report, kind of avoid things like please copy or your report is. Just give call sign verification, call sign. If you want to throw out a 73, fine, move on. Also decide whether you're going to run a frequency or if you're going to search and pounce. Everybody understand those? Search and pounce?
Define it. The
Search
difference.
and pounce. You just roll around the dial till you find someplace you want to be. You hear a signal that you want to go on, you pounce on it. Running a frequency is just simply staying in one place and let the people come to you.
Yeah. Okay. I use a 991, so I've got a waterfall on it.
That
And
works.
yep. And I certainly either we'll go sit on it, or we'll get close to somebody and then we'll try to do it. There's a cap on the power at 100 watts, so we all should be about the same.
Be right with you, Janet.
Janet, please.
Yeah, if you're trying to attract the general public to ham radio, are you interested in a whole bunch of back issues of QSD magazine from the
Yes.
AARL?
If you have a bunch you want to donate and maybe give away, I'd be happy to put them out on a table and see if they disappear. How's that?
Did you get a flyer together?
Yeah, that actually was another. Where is it? That kind of jumps up a little bit.
Janet, since you're not going to be there, I'm going to stop by at some point at least to field day. So if you want to give me those magazines, I'll bring them down to Dave in the morning.
Hey, Matt, you may want to crank down your audio a little bit.
Crank it down?
Yeah, you're real loud. I'm not sure why.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't have any way to change the input. I'll speak more softly. How's this?
Matthew, that sounds great. Maybe we could meet up in front of the clubhouse at some point.
Right. I've got your number. I'll call you this week or next week.
Next week.
Okay.
One thing I would suggest, Dave, if you're going to have flyers, et cetera, is that you set up a little card table off to the side. And if you can manage personnel wise, have somebody sitting there ready to answer questions.
Yeah. You're absolutely right and totally in agreement. I don't think we're gonna enter a submission. Okay. I don't know if we'll make any contacts. Hopefully we'll make one contact at least. But we're going to try to take advantage of all the other ways you can make points. For instance, we'll make 100 points because we're in a public place between the library and City Hall. Okay. We're going to make 100 points because we're going to have a sign-in table with brochures. That's another 100 points. I'm going to probably get our local mayor Rico to come and visit. That's 100 points. Yeah, we're going to try to see if we can get 500, 600, 1,000 points just on the stuff that you don't have to make any contact. If we get a couple,
have you contacted your division director?
No,
I'll get you some points.
Okay. All right. That could happen. If I get a member of law enforcement to come, that's 100 points. That should be easy,
Commit a crime. You'll find you get it right now.
I mean, what we'll do is we'll pop a couple of cans of beer and hopefully we get a whole bunch of people coming to at us. If we get cited, that's 100 points. We're going to be on batteries. We're going to be on batteries and solar power, which is worth a few points. To that purpose, I gave in and I got, some solar.
I have two of those.
Huh?
I have two
You
of
have-
those.
You have those?
I have those. I also have 1,000 kilowatt battery
And those things?
and those things to charge it. Yes,
You'll be there on that Saturday or I'll kill you.
I can bring them.
Okay, you bring those and maybe we can power something up, but we'll have enough solar and all solar between solar and batteries, we'll get a couple points that way. And I totally agree, Tony, with your idea of we'll have fun.
Yeah, Walt, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Okay.
Okay.
So
Will
anyway,
you talk to us, Walt, if I call you?
I'm sorry, was there a question?
Malcolm, you want to repeat that?
Asking Walt if he'd contact us back and forth so we can at least make one contact.
Okay, see, we're not supposed to do, we're not supposed to co-arrange that, but Walter better do that.
Who's gonna check on you, Dave?
Like if I can, there we go. There's Ron. Yeah, okay. Good evening, Ron, wherever you are. Okay. It's not halftime yet. There's Ron. Is it halftime yet? Okay. Anyway, good to see you, Ron. So anyway, we've got the Friends of the Library sale this week on in the same location on Saturday. Two things. One is I'm the one who gets to collect the money, so I'll be running the table where the cash box is. So I'll be also passing out this nice little pamphlet about field day. Okay.
What's money for?
Pardon me? Friends of the
What's-
Library. It's a book sale.
Oh, really?
Book sale. You gonna make it, Malcolm? Yeah, I know the answer.
When is the book sale?
Saturday,
No, I'll be in Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri. Okay, because I was thinking that could be the case. So anyway, so we'll do that. Hey, Ron, you're here. Hey, Ron? Ron? Oh. Okay, you're unmuted.
Yes,
Hey, Ron, are you going to be able to play field day for a minute or two, or are you going to go play in San Mateo?
I'm already volunteered to put up the antenna in San Mateo.
You going to do that all day?
However long it takes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The funny thing is, yeah, I think a bunch of you, I know, certainly Tom certainly does, and I think the rest of you, if you've met John Swallow, okay, John Swallow, he's the one who provides the towers for that antenna in San Mateo. But so anyway, so yeah, be careful. All right. And if you ever decide you're not having fun down, you can always come visit us. I know that Ted won't be at any field day because he will be playing Father of the Bride on that day. So San Mateo doesn't get him either. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. I think the wedding's actually in Los Angeles, so it won't even be like one of these things that he can come back late at night and do CW for him. So anyway, so Ron, you've done field day too, right? I mean, you've actually.
I just helped them with the antennas last year. I didn't actually operate. So
Okay,
I just
we would-
helped put up
we
and
would
take
let
down
you.
the antennas.
If you came to us, we'd let you operate. You know, you wouldn't have to be second fiddle to Ted or anything. We'd let you operate.
Yeah, I helped Ted log a little bit.
Yeah, I know you did.
I could barely be of any help at all.
I know you did. So anyway, yeah, I figured this whole thing is going to be for fun, and for fun and basically education. I think that's and probably promote amateur radio as much as we can because of the location. I think hopefully we can take advantage of that. We're going to give some prizes away. sorry guys, the audio visuals. So we're gonna have, we're gonna put on a drawing to collect names and email addresses. And we're gonna give some walkie-talkies away. To do that. So I basically picked up some FRS walkie-talkies, so that we're going to talk to people who come about emergency communications. Not a bad idea to have these things, and we're going to collect some names, and somehow that day we're going to give these guys away. So that should be kind of fun. So I still have to do that. Anyway, so I'm going to say, so I think, does anybody have any specific questions for Tony? Do I see any? Because I mean, he ran through the list and I couldn't agree more with him. We just have to fill that out, and expand upon it.
Let me also add, Dave,
Yeah, okay.
that anytime between now and field day, if anybody has additional questions that they can't find answers, drop me an email at dxer@k6bb.net.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to try to find an answer for you.
Let me ask. I'm gonna push my luck and ask you one specific. Could you type out a script?
Script?
Yeah, you suggested having a script.
Only for people who haven't been on the air before?
Well, I got people who I think, has everybody here ever, well, you've all been on the air probably with VHF or UHF, correct? I mean, that's a given. Everybody has. I mean, that has. But not a lot of people, for instance, have been on the air with HF. I'm thinking of at least one or two folks here who haven't. I don't think Tom, for instance, has. I know that Ron certainly probably has. I know Walt has. I know I have. Janet, I'd probably say she has, but it's probably been a long time. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
About 20 years, about 20 years worth.
Yeah. So I mean, certainly they got.
I beat you, Janet. The last entry in my logbook was 32 years ago.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
HFCW.
Actually, I became ham more than 50 years ago. So can you beat that one?
No, you win there.
You let her win. Let her win.
Win something.
So I mean, so again, it's just kind of a more of a reminder of what a simple script would probably work.
I tell you what, let's do this, Dave.
Pardon me?
Let's do this. You're going to be on the air at what time on the 25th?
Hopefully we'll be on the air at 11 o'clock. Maybe at 10, between 10 and 11. I think the actual field day starts at 11. And goes,
Yeah, it does.
yeah, and goes to whatever on Sunday, which we don't care about.
Okay, so
we'll probably we'll probably be kind of doing some radio checks between 10 and 11.
If you provide me a cup of coffee and maybe a donut, I might be coerced into dropping by and giving you a live demo.
A glazed or chocolate glazed?
A regular.
How many?
Give me a chance to meet everybody in person.
Tony, I'd love to have you. That sounds like a fair idea.
Okay.
So with that said, what I want to do is I want to say, Tony, thank you for starting us off with some ideas. Much appreciated. The Warriors game is over. Apparently there was a large water sprinkler system has gone off and you're not missing anything. Okay. The game's going to be postponed a couple of days. It's something to do with that damn condo down the street that has the elevators that they've had to evacuate the condo. I can't believe that. It's a competitive game still. Okay, good. So with that, I'm going to see if I can find my little quick and dirty PowerPoint here. And it's going to let me run through, where is it? There's PowerPoint. Here, PowerPoint. I'm going to wake my PowerPoint up here. And I'm going to do that. Come on, wake up. Wake up, a little PowerPoint, wake up. Okay, play from start. Poof, okay. I'll exit this a little bit. I'm going to, I think I need to go and do share screen. And let's tell you what else is going on. Okay. Okay, do you say, okay, so you see my PowerPoint, so that's fine. So first, let's see your screen. Okay, you can see it. So let's do it this way. Let's just run let me run my little, okay, there we go. So welcome, San Bruno Club tonight, 13th. Okay, here are the major things. So the first thing I wanted to let everybody know is that we have a new treasurer. We had Victor was our treasurer, and unfortunately, Victor, it became very difficult for him to be available. He hasn't hit retirement yet. He hasn't retirement yet, and there we go. He hasn't hit retirement yet, and so he commutes across the bay. So I've asked Steve Pagalinelli to be our treasurer, and he's agreed to that, and that's a good thing. I think tonight he's got the same problem as Victor. He's coming from across the bay from work. So, but he's semi-retired. He has Thursdays and Fridays off, and in fact, actually, the coffee was attended by Walt and Matt, myself, and Steve. So we kind of had a little mini board meeting, which was kind of nice. So we kind of firmed that up. So the next thing I want to say is we're still working on the 501c3. I started to work with the California Secretary of State doing a filing there, and that'll move on as quickly as they handle our paperwork. Oh, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the Monday Night Net field day, and then I need to say, in the past we have met at the San Bruno EOC office. I mean, downstairs, their EOC, and that unfortunately, I was talking to Gage, the fire marshal, about that, and I was going to want to ask him. He said, "Well, it's now all torn up. They're renovating it." And he said, told me something else, which makes me. He says, "It's supposed to be a secure area, and they've got second thoughts about maybe having anybody, including the Emergency Preparedness Committee, meeting there." And I'm not sure, from talking to him, if we'll ever end up meeting there again. So we're going to have to follow that to find out what happens. His advice to me was put a reservation in for the new recreation center that's being built in City Park for future meetings. That's not a bad place. For instance, San Mateo, as a lot of you know, is where the San Mateo Club holds their meetings at Beresford Recreation Center. So I may look into that, see if we can get ourselves onto the list.
Dave,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
happened? What's happening to the radio room downstairs at the EOC?
It's still there. It is not affected, but Gage was telling me that they're concerned about, for instance, your meeting, that they let the public into a room that is by definition should be secure. And they're having their qualms about that. And they realize that they have the discussions focused on the fact that they have a realization that there's not a lot of good meeting space in San Bruno with the rec center down. And I know he said that you folks have met upstairs before, but it was an interesting conversation, just kind of like a real quick one last Thursday when we were talking about the canopies. And I said, I asked him about the EOC, thinking that we could get into there sometime. And he told me they're in the process of renovating it, and then they're rethinking it. So that's what I ran into, Janet. That's all I know.
I got a comment.
Please, Walt, go for it.
The reason we had our meetings down there is so we could test the radio equipment.
Right.
Month.
I understand that.
Okay.
But I mean, if you've got, I've seen that little area that's for the radios, but you would not cram everybody in there, right?
Not at the current size of the meetings, but when we're down to, you know,
Yeah.
4 people or whatever, it wasn't a big deal.
Right. So, I mean, I'm not sure how it's going to work because Gage told me he used to supply the key to get in there.
Yes.
But, you know, it's kind of like one of these things. If we got 10, 12 people, they're going to be wandering out in that EOC room. And after what apparently they're doing to it, it sounds like they want to button it up. So it's as I guess the best way I could put it, it's to be seen as to what, you know, what's going to happen here.
Some of the legal definitions of the emergency operated center is that they don't use it for anything else. So that's why some cities have and counties had to go out and build their own EOC separate from all other places.
Right. Well, I know that, for instance, in South City, the EOC is at Station 61 and the CERT group meets there. But they're the CERT group, and that's kind of a little an upgrade from a radio club. So maybe that's how they pull that off. But as I say, I'm not sure where this leads us, but this was something that was thrown out late last week. But anyway, so we'll see where we go with that. But moving right along. So anyway, I've upgraded the brochure, and you can see it there. It now features a picture of Ron in the middle of the top page. So Ron is featured highly there. Okay. Ron is shaking his head going, no, 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 no. But it's a good layout. And then Walt's in there. And so it's, you know, so we've got that. So we've got as I say, we've got the new brochure. We'll be passing those out at Field Day. It's got a QR code that would take people to a special version of the front page that will record that they came there, and I'll know if anyone's actually looking at the brochure and using the QR code. So that's been done. So let's see where else we go. I gave you the 5013 C update. We're basically working with the State Department of State in California for that. The changes to the weekly net. This was kind of interesting. We did our first round of this last week, and I kind of expected the numbers to fall off even for the members, and they didn't. We actually had 8 members show, and we had Rich from South City show, who we ought to con him into becoming a member because he shows up every week, and he's a good guy. Ollie, do you know Rich? You know him, right, Richie? From the CERT department, do you happen to know him?
I've probably seen him before, but off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, he's nice. He's a nice guy. So he always shows up along with often Steve Furpo, who's over in South City, also used to work for the city of San Bruno. So I was really happy. The only one who seemed like they were suffering, unfortunately, as I said on the bottom of this, was Walt. Walt's around the hill in Brisbane, and he's got some diminished line of sight issues, which I was afraid of, but everybody else was coming in a lot stronger than they usually do on that TOW repeater, which was nice, and that's what I was happy to see. So we're going to continue the experiment, see where we go from there. So let's see here. So that takes care of that. This is the conversation about future meetings. I added 2 crossed fingers because the whole issue of whether or not we will actually be able to use that EOC after they're renovated seems to come up as part of what's going on here, and that kind of makes me go ah. So anyway, so here are the upcoming things. We got Field Day. We're gonna have a fall Ham-Cram, and of course Pacificon is coming up for those who want to take advantage of this. Now, I don't know if anybody ever goes to the website. Maybe you occasionally do. I can understand when you say, hey, you know, I know everything on there because I'm a member of the club. I want you to remember that there is one thing feature on the front page. And one of those things is it has a listing that is database driven. And as things take place, things will also come off the list. So, you know, that's what the current list looks like. We've already scrolled off tonight's speed because it started. So anyway, try to say, if you ever wonder what's going on, go to the list. So that's just a reminder. Okay, so on June 5th was Community Day, and we helped out with the Emergency Preparedness Committee meeting the table there. So we've got Ron Lepettis behind the table, and I'm passing out literature. We've got Rico with a poster I made for publicizing Field Day. That was one of the things we tried to do there, was publicize Field Day. And then you see Steve was there, Tom was there, Matt was there, Ron Rogels showed up, and I think, and John Swallow was around here too. So I appreciate everyone who came that day. It was kind of fun, and we'll try to do more of the same when we have Field Day. So, okay, so that's kind of a little update what's happened since the last meeting. So we're going back to Field Day. So it's, to remind everybody, it's going to be basically 10 to 5. That includes cleanup. Actually, we're probably going to start setting things up before 10. We're going to be, those are roughly the library hours. So you can see where it's going to take place. We're going to get 2 more tables at least. We're going to get an appropriate number of chairs. And then we're going to put some antennas up. Probably, if you look at the picture on the right, we'll probably try to put them behind that wall. And then maybe, if I've got to see if we can get ourselves a small ladder so that we can maybe finish in other words, put the ends of the antennas up on top of that roof there, so they'll kind of go like, you see the IHOP across the street? So they basically go from the little roof there where they come to the ground, and then they'll go up in the air, and then basically the beams or the poles will be behind that wall, kind of where the IHOP is. Okay, we'll probably space them 2 out, so they're like the two different frequencies will go probably, about 30 or 40 feet apart. But we'll try to do that so that they work. I think that'll be safe. We'll try that. Okay, so here is the here's the flyer that we're passing out on field on the we passed this out on Community Day, and we're going to pass it out at the book sale and try to get folks to come. And so there's the list of what we're doing. So radios, Steve and I are going to bring a radio. Maybe we can get one more radio from somebody. Advertising, I'm going to try to hit next door. I was hoping maybe Craig would show up tonight, because I think Craig actually posts things on Facebook. And if you can post the information on Facebook, particularly the logo, if you look at the little flyer I built, there's an ARRL Field Day logo. If I could get that onto Facebook, I'm going to put it on the next door. I'm going to try to do a small mailing to local hams to drop by and say hello. Maybe try to get them to re-engage. The one thing that we noticed at the Community Day was the number of people who came up to us and told us that they had expired ham licenses, which is really sad, because I'd like to get them all re-engaged. It's like at the Coffee Day, Matthew will remember this, and Walt will remember this. Is one of the young ladies who works for the fire department copped out the fact that she had a technician license that she allowed to expire, which is kind of crazy that we have another person that we came in contact who would like to, who might be a candidate, get them to come. So we try to get them re-engaged. So power, Steve and I both have batteries and radios, and batteries for our radios and solar. We got the canopies, we just need to pick them up. Handouts, we've got the brochure, and I've got a whole bunch behind me of ARRL handout brochures to give away too. If we can get the extra magazines from Janet, we can put those out and we can make those giveaways. Tony, please. Tony, you're muted. There you go.
Got it. Okay, here we go. One thing that just sort of jumped into my brain.
Appreciate it.
Headphones.
Headphones, is that a good thing?
It's an excellent thing, because you're going to have outdoor background noise. You want to be able to hear what's on the air.
Okay.
And if you have somebody who's going to be dupe logging for you, you'll
Yep.
need probably a Wygate for 2 sets of headphones,
A Y-gate, okay. Y-gate
just for each station.
per station, all right. So that'd be 2 sets of headphones and a Y-gate.
Only if you're having somebody do, unless your operator's going to do their own logging.
Yeah. I think it's gonna depend on how much manpower to show up.
Exactly.
If
But
we
better
have,
to be prepared than not.
yeah, if we have abundance, we'll take advantage of them and do that. If we don't, we do what we can. Again, making numbers of contacts, I don't think is a high priority.
And I plan on sticking around if you need me as a mentor.
Yeah. I'm gonna glue your feet down. Yeah, I'm going, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one of those things that, I'm gonna post one of those dog perimeters around and put a collar around your head.
Oh, okay.
So that when you get close to the exit, you get a zap.
It's nice to be loved.
It's nice to be loved. The other thing along that is, let me ask you a question. I was going to get a speaker. I was going to put my Motorola speaker out the back of my 991 and kind of point it so people could hear it. Bad idea or
Nice.
good idea?
And it's a nice idea as long as.
Will it be interfering with people, with guys on the actually doing the work?
You're going to have to try that out and find
Yeah.
out. But I
Yes.
would say also be mindful that the public may not be real thrilled with it.
Well, I figure, yeah. Well, I was kind of going to share it with them so they do. See, my only thing is that, or what I'm going to do is the other thing I guess I could do is get a laptop and hook it up to an SDR station like Half Moon Bay,
Mhm.
so people can hear generally what's going on and see it, so they understand what's going on everywhere.
That's a
And
good
maybe
idea.
separate that physically from where we're actually going to run the radios.
As much eye candy as you can create, that's going to be good.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
If I can get an easel with some flip boards and we can kind of make some drawings and pictures to answer people's questions, it'll look more like what we're doing.
Even better.
I mean, someday it would be kind of fun to make some nifty, like Tom, you don't happen to have your the antenna I made, I gave you, do you?
Absolutely.
Well, can you hold that sucker up? It's a thing of beauty. Where is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually coming to you live from Fort Worth, Texas right now.
And you didn't take that with you?
No.
Okay, all right. No, I'm going to say thank you for logging in from Fort Worth, Texas. Now we have a competition between Malcolm and Tom for who's phoning in from the greatest distance, and I'm not going to put the tape measure to figure it out.
How about
But,
the hottest temperature?
I had 109.
It was 109 here.
Tie. Why? It's not 109 here, thank God. Okay.
Crazy.
Okay. All right. Good.
June. It's June.
It's June. It's only June. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. We'll talk about this in September, or late August. But anyway, Tom, I made I've got a 2-meter antenna that I made. It looks like shit. I'll probably bring my version of it and put
I'll
it up.
bring mine.
Well, you can do that. We'll put it up. But I'm just going to show people that a piece of shit antenna can actually work. If you're into this as a hobby, as compared to going out and buying everything, which is cool too. But just to show people that you can get a lot of bang for nothing. So anyway, so we're doing that. See what else. So this is back through my little quick look at the list. So we got the brochures, signage. Oh, I have a question. I'm going to donate. Hopefully, someday I'm going to donate. If we make this thing, if we get the 501c3 in place, I'm going to donate a feather banner. You know what a feather banner is? Those are the damn things you see as you drive down the El Camino for a furniture store. They look like shit, but we're going to get one. I've got one for the library. It says book sale on it, and we're going to put it out alongside on the lawn close to El Camino, to kind of get some attention. San Bruno Amateur Radio Club is a lot of words on a feather banner. And my question is, I'm thinking that if I simply put Radio Club, do you think that would be enough? What do you guys think, guys?
Could you do Ham Radio Club?
Okay, that's all right. Let's say Ham Radio Club.
Or you could do SB Radio Club.
Santa Barbara?
SB, you're sitting in San Bruno, correct?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm
I
just
think
saying,
I think most people would figure out it's San Bruno.
see, it'd be SB. Radio is what, 5 letters? So it's 7 letters and 4 letters.
13 letters all told.
Right.
Do we have any city colors?
Well, I was going to do blue and gold. I was going to basically do UCLA colors.
Not UCLA, Golden Bears, Golden Bears.
Well, those who see it can go golden bear.
Those,
Dave?
you need a good
No,
name.
yeah, Tony,
Dave?
please. Tony.
Blue and gold, tough to pick out at a distance, tough to read.
It would be.
Color more
So
contrast.
here's what we did. Here's what we did for the library. We used the Ukrainian colors, which happened to be blue and gold. Okay, and so we did white on blue, 1/2, and then we did on the other side, we went black on yellow. Is that right?
That works.
Yeah. So that we got I gave it's already at the library. So that's what we did for it. But it's basically really simple so that it popped out, because you're absolutely right. Some combinations are not readable. You've got to have enough contrast so that someone's going down at the speed limit of 55 miles an hour on the El Camino. And don't tell me it's not that speed limit, because that's what people do. But you want to be quickly and easily read as they zoom down El Camino. But I'm thinking, I'm just thinking Radio Club, and that way you can kind of fill both sides up with the whole words. And it just, would that be enough to kind of get people's attention? I mean, for the book sale, we've got book sale, two sides, 2 verticals against each other. And for Ham, I like Ham, but I'm not sure if anybody will get that. But Radio Club, we could do the same thing. Any thoughts on it? Because I was thinking, well, it should be San Bruno Amateur Radio Club. Too many letters, too hard to read.
Radio Club works, it's.
I mean, I think it'd be readable, and that's what I worry about.
I think Radio Club would be fine, because most general public does not have any idea what a ham is. Except
Exactly.
that one you slice for a sandwich.
And I'm not sure, because of the location, I'm not sure if we have to put SB simply because we're in San Bruno at the moment. So it just, okay, Radio Club is, thank you. We'll try Radio Club.
Just a comment that
Please.
In the past, we adopted green and white as the club colors. That for readability from a distance, there's a reason Yellow Cab is painted black lettering on a yellow car.
Yeah.
They put a lot of research into it, and black on yellow reads very well from a distance.
Yeah, so let me pop up here and take a look at something. I'm gonna jump to something. What was that? Okay, so anyway, so I'm gonna close this little PowerPoint and see if I can find something to show you real quickly, if I've got it. There it is. Okay, so see, this is what the book sale looks like. See
That
that?
works.
But I would make it Radio Club. What do you think? Do you get the idea what's going on here?
I think that looks good.
Okay, then we'll just make that Radio Club. We'll make it, okay, I'll deal with that. Cool. So I'm going to kill I'm going to come and I'm going to find Zoom again.
Before we get off the idea of field day, Matthew, if you're still on, would you please call me after the meeting is over? And maybe we can set something up for this week
There we go.
after 12 noon.
Okay, Janet, I'll call you when the meeting's over, but actually I'll be leaving it in another 5 minutes. You want me to call you around 8?
Sounds good.
All right, got it.
Well,
Thanks.
I'm gonna say that I think we've probably beat field day to death. Anybody have any questions about field day? No?
How
Okay.
tall a ladder do you need, Dave?
Just enough to get probably just above, it's probably a 9-foot ladder would do. I mean, I might even have one that myself that I can fold up, but I'm gonna bring some other things, so.
I've got an 8-foot aluminum ladder.
It's in the back of your truck?
Well, I put it on top or in the back.
Okay, just something so we can kind of stand on it, and then we get John Swallow to go on top of it. That's an inside joke. No, just something we can reach up and put maybe a cinder block on top of the bottom of the end of a wire going up the mast. That's all.
I'll bring the 8-footer.
Okay, thank you. That takes care of that. I kind of think that's most everything right now. Janet, please.
Yeah, some people are going to be operating at field day, which is great. I would like to see our club not have one person stuck as net control every single Monday night. I would like to see, like they do in some other clubs, they have rotating net controls, especially now since I'm having an ongoing dental things going on. I may not make it every Monday. So how
Janet,
about,
I'm in total agreement with you.
okay.
Let's put it this way, Janet, until I find other people to help me, or you're really feeling like you want to do it, I'm going to take care of it for the moment.
But it would be very good experience for other than the club to be net control. I mean, if they have to do any emergency communications, they're going to want to need to know what the heck to say on the air.
I totally agree with you. Okay. But right now I'm going to try to find out who's coming on a regular basis and see if we get them to engage.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'd like to get Matthew to try it. And he's going, ha, 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 ha. You know, I think Steve would probably do it too if he comes. I think I'm going to build one of these stupid little antennas for Malcolm to put on a piece of PVC pipe in his backyard. Let him give it a try. Ron has mentioned that he has experience doing this.
I did net control 30 years ago, so I could.
So
give
he's
me a
so
script
he's
and I could probably do it
he's
again.
ready to go. He's ready to go. As soon as I feel comfortable that I've kind of put together a nice simple script, then we're gonna see if we can find some pass it around a little bit. Okay.
I mean, if you've never done it before, the first time will
It's
be the most
intimidating.
difficult. But after that, I mean, easy
It's
peasy
good.
the more you go.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be criticizing you anyway.
Well, they all jumped on me. Okay.
Having a
No.
script for the first time would certainly be helpful.
Yeah, so we'll try. I mean, I'm totally on board with Janet. I'd like, the one of the things about the field day is I would like to get everybody who shows up to no matter, I mean, I understand, and Tony, tell me if I'm wrong, you'll know this answer. Janet will know this answer. And Ollie probably knows the answer too, and maybe even Ron. It's my understanding that tech licenses can be used on field day to make HF contacts as long as somebody is the control station operator, correct?
But you have to use that control station operator's call sign.
Well, my call signs or K6 PVJ.
Well, you're going to be using, if you're operating as a club, you're using the club call sign.
Okay, that's K6 PVJ.
Right.
So they can use K6 PVJ?
Anybody can use it, even a non-licensed.
Perfect. So again, I'll go back to what I was going to say is I would like to see everybody make some HF contacts who's a member of the club and give it a try. Simply because I would like to see you all who are not generals and better to consider upgrading. I think everybody, the only two in this room that fall in that category are my friends Matt and Malcolm.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So back on Janet's wish about rotating net controls,
Mhm.
this is the only club or net or anything I've ever been on in a while, and it's been a while, but I was on a few, that has a simplex component to it. And because of that simplex component, this isn't about rotating net control. It's about who is in the only position to be able to hear everybody in the club, and that's Dave. So really, there is no other spot that anyone else of us occupies that is going to be as good as Dave's position, at least for the simplex part of the net. So that's all I wanted to say, just to make that point.
And that's a valid point. Janet, you want to say something on that?
Yeah, you can, if you can't hear one or two people, you can always ask someone else on the net to relay.
Right.
That's done a lot too.
So in a way, that's
But
not
then that you,
because then it teaches you how to relay, and relaying is important. You know, in other words, for instance, if we've got Malcolm up on Merced, and he can simplex to a lot of us, you know, but he can't simplex to all of us. I mean, we can see how far, who's here and relaying. So we could actually do it. It'd be awkward, but it would be valuable experience.
well, that's why I suggested we create a map. If all of us that are here tonight and everybody who gets on PVJ and simplex would just check off who they hear, eventually we can collate that data and create a map for the club that basically describes who can hear who.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's for another time. It's getting late. I gotta go, but we need to talk about some of these simple things. You know, the beauty of creating a map like that is we don't have to go anywhere, and it doesn't cost anything, and it piggybacks on what we're already doing. So anyway, just my two.
Matt, thank you. That's a great point. It's one of those we'll hash it out and figure it out. So anyway, anybody else wants to bring anything? Because now that I see that we have a large percentage of out-of-staters, it's probably getting late for them. And I know that Mr. 700 miles in a day over here, Malcolm, are you in a car or on your motorcycle?
I'm on my K1600 BMW motorcycle.
Nice.
So it's going to take him a long time to pack up for that, because he's got a lot of luggage and big capacity.
I've got everything I need.
Do you have your radio?
I do.
Attaboy, has it worked for you?
I haven't tried it, but I will.
Because one thing we talked about the other day is I told him about Repeater Book app on his cell phone, so that he can find out where he is and who might want to talk to him.
What? 14652.
Whatever.
Well, I asked in case of emergencies. I'm broken down. I need help.
Or wants a friend. Whatever. He can.
Talk to me. Let's have a beer.
Yeah, let's have a beer.
All AAA.
Okay. So with that said, I'd like to say thank you for everyone who's coming. If anybody else wants to pop out something, let me know. Otherwise, we will be in touch. I will probably hit you with an email reminding you. I won't look, but who's planning to show up at field day? I'm looking.
Okay, by
I'm
the
going to
way,
say thank you for all those who are considering that. It should be fun. I will find donuts and coffee, decaf or regular. Okay, old fashions.
I test.
Glazed, chocolate glazed. Okay.
Where do you go for donuts?
For donuts?
Rolling pins like $1 a donut now.
Oh yeah, I know. But I mean, do you want me to get you an inferior donut for a high class group of people? I could.
Not really more of a inquisitive
I could drop back a little bit because Ron's not going to be there, and he would be the one who wants the high class donut. But yeah. So anyway,
Not cheap either.
Get a box of them at Safeway's Bakery. Gee whiz.
I mean, at the price of gas, Janet, it's easier to go to a rolling pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, rolling pin. There you go. You're right by a rolling pin.
Okay, last thing. When my wife and I got married, we lived on Easton, okay, which is a rolling pin's a corner of San Bruno Avenue in Easton. And I'll say that was a mistake because we used to walk up on Saturday and Sunday mornings up to rolling pin, get one donut. We'd come back with more than one donut.
Of
And
course.
we'll you just think about it from there. But anyway, okay. I'm gonna say thank everybody for coming. It's good to see you. We'll probably post this up and let anybody who wants to see it.